Hello, everyone. Welcome to TRADECAST, being beamed to the world from Belia Trading offices in Lima, Peru. My name is Manolo Delgado. I'm Belia Trading's marketing director. And today we have an excellent guest. But before I introduce our guest, let me remind you what is TRADECAST. TRADECAST is a series of interviews with top international executives in all areas related to international trade and business. We will touch several issues, very contemporary issues, and let me just name a few: product development, global sourcing, manufacturing, logistics, quality control, free trade zones, international trade law, shipping, free trade agreements, WTO negotiations, entrepreneurship, and many more. And we have guests from all over the world, and I'll try to go from east to west as quickly as I can. We have confirmed guests from countries such as Japan, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, India, Turkey, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Denmark, Brazil, USA, Barbados, Bolivia, Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, where I am sitting right now. If this is the first time that you join us, I'll just explain quickly what's the structure of the show. We will talk to our guest, obviously, first about him or herself and their professional trajectory. Then we will talk about the company, so that we learn what they do and what's the company, what type of business they are in. And then we'll talk about the present and the future of the subject that we've decided to talk about. Of course, the present and the future might get a little mingled, but well, that's normal. And we will close with a very interesting and fun questionnaire. So I urge you to stay until the end of the show. This questionnaire was developed by French journalist Bernad Pivot. And excuse my French, but it's called Apostrophe à bouillon de couture. And in summary, you are going really to enjoy the questionnaire. So stay until the end, please. And one quick disclaimer that is important: our guests speak on behalf of themselves. Okay, they are not taking official position for the company. Just before I introduce our guest, let me give you the trade fact of today. As of 2022, total global retail sales are valued at $26.7 trillion. And in 2022, e-commerce constitutes 13% of those retail sales in the US, while 87% is still done in traditional shopping. So, having said that, let me introduce Jose Antonio Iturriaga. I'm going to take the liberty to call him Pepino because that's the way everybody knows him, both personally and in business. He is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of EFE Group, based here in Lima, Peru. Pepino, okay. Welcome, Pepino, to the TRADECAST. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Manolo, for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Well, as you know, as I just said, first we're going to talk about you. And what we're doing with Spanish-speaking guests is to just this section, do it in Spanish. So I'm going to be a bit of a Instagrammer and go like this, y pasamos a castellano. Pepino, cuéntanos un poquito para empezar desde el inicio. ¿Dónde naciste y qué estudiaste y cuáles fueron tus primeros pasos en el mundo profesional?
Mira, yo, bueno, soy de Lima, nací acá en Lima, Perú, en el 70, ya estoy arriba de los 50. Estudié Derecho. Siempre me jaló mucho el hacer un poquito más que Derecho, porque Derecho sentía que me marginaba un poquito el core del negocio, así que decidí hacer un MBA, de ahí empecé a trabajar en banca muchos años, trabajé en Santander, en el Citi, y también tuve la oportunidad de trabajar en el Scotia, que me dio la oportunidad de trabajar como digo yo de broma, ¿no? En primer mundo Canadá, segundo mundo México, tercer mundo Perú y cuarto mundo Guatemala, sin ser despectivo con Guatemala, porque me encantó, probablemente una de las mejores experiencias, pero de forma de broma lo digo, así que la verdad que también una experiencia interesante. Y yo regresé el 15, estuve 7 años fuera, regresé el 15 y el 17 tomé la opción de venirme acá al Grupo EFE.
Cuéntame un poquito, Pepino, porque una buena parte de nuestra audiencia son personas jóvenes que están o terminando la carrera o tal vez haciendo un MBA, entrando al mundo profesional. Esto que cuentas tú me parece interesante, haber empezado como abogado, pero luego entrar a la banca. ¿Cómo se dio eso un poco? ¿Por tu iniciativa decidiste, ok, terminé Derecho, hago el MBA y ahora me meto en banca específicamente? ¿Cómo se dio esa decisión?
Te voy a decir la verdad, ojalá hubiera sido tan ordenado. porque en verdad la vida te va llevando a situaciones que uno no las programa tanto. Yo acabé Derecho, y la verdad que me fue bastante bien, me encantó la carrera como educación, digamos, pero no me gustó tanto el ejercicio de la profesión, ¿no? O sea, no me gustó tanto ni el ambiente del litigio, ni mucho menos. Y de ahí, justamente por eso dije, oye, voy a hacer un MBA, y cuando acabé el MBA, uno sale pues a buscar trabajo, al que te ofrezcan, ¿no? Y ahí tuve la suerte de entrar a Santander Leasing en ese momento, y ahí empezó mi carrera en la banca, digamos, que ha durado un montón de años, porque digamos que hoy día, si bien estoy como CEO del grupo, sigo teniendo una financiera a mi cargo, que es una financiera bastante exitosa que tenemos acá en el Perú, ¿no?
¿Y cómo se dan, Pepino, estos? Muchas de las personas que entrevistamos tienen un perfil bastante internacional, eso es lo que estamos tratando justo de mostrar, pues, un poco el mundo de los negocios internacionales. ¿Cómo se dio tu primera salida? Entiendo que fue a Canadá con Scotia, y
Sí.
esto fue lo que tú buscaste dentro del grupo, aplicaste a una posición. Cuéntanos un poquito de esa salida, que entiendo fue en el 2000.
2008 me fui, agosto del 2008.
Ok.
Mira, el Scotia no estaba en Perú, ¿no? El Scotia nace en el Perú el 2006 con la compra de dos bancos, el Banco Vice y el Banco Sudamericano. Yo venía del Banco Sudamericano, el Scotia tenía un accionariado del 20%, si no mal recuerdo. Y bueno, al final, cuando se crea Scotia, yo no era consciente de que el negocio de pequeña empresa que teníamos en Scotia, Perú, era el más grande que se tenía en la región, o sea, en lo que era fuera Canadá. No éramos conscientes porque el banco no había hecho operaciones muy grandes de small business, digamos, en otros países donde tenía presencia por más años. Entonces, lanzaron un concurso para VP de Small Business en Canadá. Yo la verdad que ni me enteré porque no existía tan buena comunicación. Y una amiga que había venido por el proceso de integración, una salvadoreña que me dice, oye, hay este proceso. Ella me avisa, ¿no? Y yo le digo, uy, que me van a contratar, me habrá cola, ¿no? O sea, VP no era un puesto que abundaba en ese momento en Canadá. Bueno, postulé y ni le conté, esa es una cosa muy graciosa porque ni le conté a mi esposa, ¿no? Y de repente, porque dije, no, o sea, ya era postular, y de repente me llaman al poco tiempo, me acuerdo que estaba en la cantuta ahí en Regatas, y me llega, en esa época no había todavía teléfonos con correo, y me llega mi correo que tuve que entrar, oye, una cita en Canadá para un panel interview. Y ahí estaba con mi esposa, pues, estamos, creo, de vacaciones, me imagino. Y le digo, oye, me han invitado, ¿qué te...? Ahí le cuento, ¿no? Mi esposa pues casi se desmaya. Y le digo, no, olvídate, esto no va a salir de ninguna manera. Bueno, viajé al panel interview, que me entrevistaron en ese momento, pues, todos los jefes que había en Toronto en ese momento del Scotia. Y acabó la entrevista y dije, me fregué, me van a contratar. Te lo juro por Dios. Había un amigo afuera que era Gino Rospigliosi que todavía trabajó conmigo años y le dije, al salir dije, uy Gino, me fregué, me van a contratar. Esa fue mi reacción, ¿no?
También
Y
salió el panel que
alucina que
querías
yo
salir.
parecía que estaba entrevistando, ¿no? Tú te das cuenta, ¿no? Cuando una entrevista fluye,
Sí,
¿no?
sí, 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 sí.
Y regreso a Lima y mi esposa pues no estaba tan convencida, ¿no? Entonces fue todo un tema, pero le dije, bueno, al final me van a, seguro que salió bien la entrevista, pero no me van a contratar, ¿no? Yo tranquilizándola con el aspecto,
Negativo
no,
por
no,
fuera y positivo por dentro, ya.
exactamente. Y de repente, no sé, pasaron, ¿qué será? Pues 10 días, 2 semanas, y ping, me dio un correo, ni siquiera el banco diciendo me hemos aceptado, sino se habían adelantado los abogados que te sacan el work permit para ir a Canadá.
A ese
Entonces,
nivel, ya.
llamo a mi jefe y le digo, oye, me hago esto. Sí, Pepino, mi hija, no, no te quise avisar porque sé que estás de vacaciones, pero ya nos han dicho que te han elegido. Así que así empezó la historia en Canadá y la verdad que creo que fue una decisión súper importante en lo que después he podido evolucionar como profesional. La verdad que no fue una decisión fácil, ¿ah? Porque mi esposa trabajaba acá, tuvo que dejar de trabajar, o sea, hay varias cosas que uno no evalúa en su momento, pero aparte de mis dos hijas chiquitas, pero la verdad, viéndolo en retrospectiva, alucinante, fue una muy buena, hasta mi esposa que hoy día te diría que te va a decir que fue una muy buena decisión.
No, no lo dudo, no lo dudo. Estuviste entonces en Toronto, ¿cuántos años y qué fue lo que te dedicaste y qué es lo que más aprendiste, digamos, de esos años
Mira,
en Canadá?
en Toronto yo era responsable, era el VP de Small Business para la división internacional. Pues tuve la oportunidad de viajar a todas las operaciones que tenía Scotia en ese momento, que eran básicamente Caribe y Latinoamérica. Entonces me permitió conocer mucho las realidades diferentes de los países. Me permitió también conocer lo que es una corporación grande, pero en su corazón, ¿no? Porque
Ok.
como te digo, yo conocí a los canadienses mucho mejor probablemente que el gerente general de Perú, porque yo he estado con ellos 2 años en Canadá, conozco la dinámica, conozco cómo un canadiense discrepa, cómo discute, cómo opera, entonces la verdad que me dio un expertise de un mundo corporativo digamos, de matriz, ¿no? De matriz de verdad de un banco grande. Entonces, me hizo bien interesante, estuve 2 años. De ahí no me gustó mucho, la verdad, el trabajo en casa matriz porque era muy corporativo, digamos, había demasiado toda esta política de casa matriz que era un poquito, eh, digamos que no me motivaba lo suficiente y salió la oportunidad de ir a Canadá, que era un banco que tenían ellos, a Canadá, perdón, a Guatemala, que era un
Ujú.
banco que tenían ellos, que habían comprado un poco de casualidad casi cuando compraron banco de trabajo en Perú y que lo tenían medio abandonado y ya empezó a perder plata. Salió la oportunidad, el único que se ofreció voluntario fui, así en una reunión dije, yo, acá. Y los canadienses no creían, entonces estás loco, ¿cómo te vas a ir de Canadá? Tienes recién 2 años y te vas a ir a Guatemala, que en ese momento lo veía muy peligroso. Al final hablé con mi esposa ya estaba armando las maletas y nos fuimos a Canadá, a Guatemala, y la verdad que una experiencia alucinante. Estuvimos casi 4 años en Guate, 3 años, 8 meses. Espectacular, nos fue súper bien con el banco. Un banco que le empezó a ir súper bien y tuvimos que venderlo al final, que era un tema que no estaba ni siquiera en el plan. Entonces tuve la oportunidad de relanzar y vender un
No,
banco que
lo
fue
vendiste mejor, claramente, de lo que lo recibiste. Y ahí tú eras, claro, tú eres el gerente general, ahí eres el CEO de... ¿Qué tal esa experiencia en términos, no sé, culturales?
la verdad, compadre, que alucinante. Y yo la verdad que sí, yo no era consciente probablemente que era tan flexible y la verdad que soy muy flexible y me adapté rapidísimo. Somos muy parecidos a los guatemaltecos, muy parecidos. El guatemalteco es súper trabajador, es muy parecido al peruano, valora su reputación de crédito, o sea, y la verdad que nos fue súper bien, todo lo que lanzamos funcionó, casi no nos equivocamos en nada, tuvimos mucha suerte también, encontré un equipo de primera, estaba Juan Carlos que ahora trabaja conmigo acá, ya estaba él allá, entonces la verdad que la pasamos monstruo porque familiarmente también fue una experiencia monstra, ¿no? Nos hicimos ahí como 10 familias de peruanos que nos encontramos ahí y nos hicimos como familia extendida, digamos, entonces la verdad que a mí me da una pena terrible venderlo, porque era un banquito que le iba muy bien, tenía perspectivas interesantísimas, pero bueno, así son las decisiones corporativas, ¿no?
Tal cual, tal cual.
Eh,
¿Y cómo fue la movida a México? ¿Qué fuiste a hacer a
estando, yo,
México?
estando yo en Guatemala, justo Scotia compra una operación de consumo grande allá, un crédito familiar que se la compra el Citi. Era una operación gigante, 250 agencias. Y como me había ido también en Guate, de frente, pues ahí oye, tú eres el hombre, ¿no? De frente me targetearon, no tuve que ni postular. Y así fue. Me fui a manejar esta operación recién comprada interesante porque agarré la migración, había que salir los sistemas del Citi, o sea, agarré toda la migración a los nuevos sistemas, o sea, me tocó relanzar la operación y ahí estuve 2 años y medio, porque ya mi hija la grande entraba primero y medio, entonces yo siempre en la cabeza había tenido siempre pensado volver para que ella sacara el colegio acá, ¿no? Tú me conoces personalmente, sabes que mis amigos con los que yo paro son mis amigos del colegio, ¿no? Entonces, para mí el tema del colegio es muy representativo en mi círculo de amistades, entonces yo quería que mi hija tenga esa sensación de colegio, ¿no? El mudarla, si bien no es que lo pierda, pero lo diluye un poquito, y se dio esta oportunidad para venir a Perú, bueno, y me vine, pues, y la verdad que también
Sí,
muy agradecido, ¿no?
ahora conversamos un poco de lo que estás haciendo actualmente y de la empresa. Yo quería, para cerrar la primera parte del tema personal, hay algo que tú manejas que me resulta muy interesante. Tú eres un CEO súper activo en redes, veo que no cada cierto tiempo posteas unas reflexiones en LinkedIn que leo con mucha atención. Entonces me gustaría conocer un poquito cómo ves tú esto de, no sé, si vale la pregunta de filosofía de liderazgo. ¿Cuáles son para ti las claves para ser un buen líder, especialmente en una empresa tan grande y tan diversa como la de usted?
Sí, mira, a mí me encanta compartir, pero por dos cosas, creo. Uno, que yo me considero que soy no sé si el principal, pero un importante embajador del Grupo F, ¿no? El Grupo F es un grupo que ha trabajado mucho tiempo y bastante bien, pero la verdad que había sido bien tímido en compartir mucho las buenas prácticas. Entonces, eso me generó ese estímulo para hacerlo y es parte de mi rol, de mi forma de liderar, ¿no? A mí me encanta comunicar mucho, entonces, realmente este es como casi un brazo extendido de comunicación, que no es interna, pero también termina siendo interna, porque mucho de lo comunicamos también son cosas de la organización. Entonces, digamos que combino comunicación externa con interna, pero sí creo que genera valor de marca, sí creo que genera valor en general al grupo, y también a veces en el Perú las buenas noticias tampoco abundan. Entonces, creo que también es bueno el optimismo y ver que con trabajo, con dedicación, no todo va a salir bien, pero muchas cosas se pueden hacer bien, ¿no?
Correcto, correcto. Estás ahí promoviendo un buen karma para una buena energía para el Perú.
Tú me
Y,
conoces, a mí yo soy me encanta pasarla bien. Y eso significa el ambiente personal y el ambiente laboral, ¿no?
y en eso, Pepino, que ahora me has contado un poquito de la razón por la cual estás ahí contando y exponiéndote, entre comillas, en redes, pero si te esfuerzo a escoger algunas características de un buen líder, ¿cuáles serían para ti?
Mira, a mí me encanta la definición del servant leadership, ¿no? Yo me considero mi principal responsabilidad es que le vaya bien a mi equipo. O sea, yo no tengo que preocuparme en que a mí me vaya bien. Si le va bien a mi equipo, me va a ir bien a mí. Entonces, sí me gusta estar muy comunicado, muy informado. Me gusta solo intervenir cuando pienso que puedo dar valor. No me gusta intervenir por intervenir. Creo 100% en la delegación de responsabilidades, pero también creo que el que recibe la delegación tiene también el accountability de lo que ha recibido. Entonces, creo que, bueno, tú me conoces, soy completamente horizontal, soy un dedo también, o sea, a mí me gusta que las cosas que cuando se me dice que va a pasar algo, pase, ¿no? Pero mucha comunicación, muy abierto y tratando de sumar y dar valor al equipo, ¿no?
Vamos a hacer, Pepino, creo que es un buen momento, justo hablando de esto, para hacer la transición a conocer F un poco más. Entonces, como buena parte de nuestra audiencia es foránea y no necesariamente Latinoamérica, ni siquiera, vamos a pasar, if you may, a un poco de English. And I think it's
I
important.
will do my best.
You have to remember your Canadian days. I'd like for people to learn not only in Peru, which is your main geography, and I think it's the only one actually, right? You still haven't gone outside of Peru, which I'm sure eventually you will, because that's something that we will talk later about your very fast growth. But for our Peruvian and international audience, can you tell us a bit about Grupo F in maybe 5-6 minutes?
Mira, Grupo F is a Peruvian holding. We have, I would say, two big pillars in our activity. One is we are the biggest home appliance retailer in Peru. We have two brands, which is Tiendas F y Tiendas La Curazao. Also, we are the biggest retailer in motorcycles in Peru. We have Motocorp, which is our retailer for motorcycles. We also own, I will say, one of the best, not the biggest, but the best consumer financing institution in Peru. It's like a bank. It's a regulated company, but it's focused on consumer financing, which is Financiera Efectiva. And we have just bought 8 months ago a marketplace, Juntos, which was a marketplace that was a Peruvian marketplace that we think that we can give Juntos a lot of our strengths to make Juntos one of the biggest marketplaces here in Peru. No?
Great. So you have several branches. One of the things that impresses me the most is how fast moving you guys are. So I want to learn a bit more about how EFE makes decisions and strategic decisions. Okay, this is not a Harvard MBA class, so we don't have to get super technical, but just it would be good, I think, for our audience to understand how do you decide where to go next or where to put more of your headcount and time and investments. Is that a complicated, long process? How do you expedite and make lean, efficient decisions?
I will say that's one of the biggest strengths of Grupo F, ¿no? As I already mentioned to the team is, somos lo que somos, ¿no? We are the guys that we have, no? We are the guys. We don't need to get any type of permissions or to do or to take the decision that we have to take. So I think, especially in the COVID situation, it was really like a completely different situation that we live in Peru. You are in Peru. You know how everything that happened in 2020, 2021. But I think we have the flexibility and the velocity to make important decisions in a really fast. And I think in the retail business, maybe that's one of the biggest strengths that a company can have. Just to give you an example, no? For example, during the COVID, we have to refinance a big percentage of our portfolio. Usually all the big banks or the transnational banks in Peru, they took the decision to refinance in a 6-month term. In the consumer financing, after 6 months, you will not find the customer. No? These type of customers, they move 3 times a year and they change sales 8 times a year. So
Okay.
we take the decision to do just monthly refinancing. That was a gigantic effort. Every month we have to refinance 250,000 customers. We didn't have the system, we didn't have the process, but we make it possible. And that's one of the, I would say, main reasons why our portfolio after COVID is behaving better than the rest of the competitors in Peru. So I think the empowerment to the group, and that's also, we were lucky that our stakeholders gave us all that empowerment to take this type of decisions. Another important, we never stop growing, no? During the COVID, we continue all our investments in technology. We have invested more than 150 million soles in technology for our retail and for our financial company.
Around 40 million US, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have been growing also our footprint, no? We have opened this year 50 new stores for our home appliance business. Now we are the biggest in footprint. So we are convinced that in our business, especially in our home appliance business, the hybrid model is the successful model that we have to choose. No? So we are building digital capabilities, but also we are building physical capabilities.
Because yes, it's amazing to me to see how many, and just to go back a step, you have, in terms of physical stores, you have La Curazao, which is home appliances. Motocorp is the name of the stores that sells the motorcycles. EFE stores, and you basically open one per week, or am I exaggerating? Because you have, within the 3 of them, you have now what, like 200 something stores?
For our home appliance, which is EFE Curaçao, we have 225 stores, and for Motocorp we have 26 stores. Okay. And Efectiva is inside, it's like a special model, is inside the 280 stores. No?
To do microfinancing for people buying.
Consumer finance, basically, not only related to our customers that are buying in our stores, but also now Financiera Efectiva is giving different products to this customer base. No?
Okay, let's try to break your businesses in a couple of because it's interesting that the financial side and the more retail. In terms of the retail, let's focus a bit on La Curazao and EFE, because as you said, they're 10 times bigger in terms of stores than Motocorp. How do you choose where to open these stores? What is the process? Because you are different in a sense that usually one thinks of home appliance and you think big malls have shops inside malls. You guys really go to lost places in the middle of the Andes Mountains and in the jungle of the Amazon, and you put what I'm assuming is a medium-sized store, probably hundreds of SKUs, and you just go for it. I'm just curious what are your main ways to measure the decision? Like, okay, we're gonna go to this place. What are the variables that you analyze there? Population, capacity, I don't know.
Usually we are like the antithesis of the traditional business in Peru, no? Okay. We are more outside Lima than in Lima. You know, Lima is 80% of the Peruvian economy, or 60 or 70, I don't know. We are the other way around, no? 80% of our business is outside Lima, and we have physical presence in all the cities over 100,000 population. Okay. So I will say that in a high percentage of our retailer, our physical presence is like in the main, in la Plaza de Armas, no? In the main
square
street,
of
the main square of the town, no? Mm-hmm. So I will say how the competitors work. Competitors, they usually put their stores at the side of ours. So we are like the initial hub of home appliance, and then the competitors come to around us, no? But and that's the traditional model how Tiendas EFE start growing 30 years ago, and we have not stopped that strategy because we believe that we have to be in the big cities. Of course, we are in all the malls in Lima. We are in the main malls outside Lima, but we never stop growing our footprints in the small towns all around Peru.
And Pepino, in terms of, and maybe I'll ask you one day to introduce me to the person that leads the retail. I think is Robert Schultz, right? I think it would be interesting because in terms of logistics, this sounds insane on the way that you, because I'm, of course, I actually know as a fact that you produce these things in China, where is 99% of home appliances are made. And well, it comes to Peru and then it's sent all over the country, which is quite impressive. But of course, this gives you a chance to be like the anchor, as you said. You arrive first, you create the loyalty with the people around, you create working opportunities for people in the towns, in the cities, and your brands become more important. And I know you have a brand in home appliances called Board, and I don't want to go so much into details about that, but I'm just wondering, how is your process of brand development? If you have plans to create more of your own brands, maybe tell us in the lineup of products that are, for example, in La Curacao, what percentage are brands from, well, other foreign brands, and how many are your own? Is there a thing in there in which you make a conscious effort of putting your brand forward in detriment of other brands? Is there a strategy there in terms of branding?
Yes, having our own brands is important. It's a strategic definition because, as you know, 2 or 3 brands, almost, at least in Peru, owns the market. So it's a tough relationship that we have to manage. And one tool to be more efficient is to try to develop our own brands. We have the capability to do it because, as you know, we have a very proactive sales model. No, we are not a receptive retailer. We are a proactive retailer. We have more than 1,500 salesmen walking around out the cities, no, like the Electrolux seller, no. So
knocking doors.
Yeah, exactly. Our sales model is completely different from a traditional retailer. No, we go to get our customers, and usually 50% of our sales are with our credit, with the credit of Financiera Efectiva. So we are like anti-cyclic. We can push the sale and we can push the products with the right incentives to our sales force. So our capabilities to push a brand from our brand is much more stronger than, for example, a traditional retailer. No,
it's interesting. Is in a way it looks like you've almost have chosen to go against the current, right? Whatever is everybody else is doing, we're gonna go the other way. You mentioned something that I'd like to try to understand a bit better, Pepino. This synergy between your financial part of the business, Efectiva, Financiera Efectiva, and of course your retail. You just said that 50%, if I understood right, 50% of the credits that Efectiva is giving is to customers of your retail side. And the other
way around, 50% of our retail sales are financed
by Efectiva. Okay. And in terms just of Efectiva, you mentioned you have, I'm assuming you started basically on that side, giving finance to the people that bought in your physical shops, maybe later the e-commerce, etc. But you've developed other more financial, and your background is more on banking. You've developed other more traditional banking products that you also bring to the market. That's correct, right?
That's correct. When I started working in Grupo EFE, I started as the CEO of the financial company, of Financiera Efectiva. I assumed the CEO position of the group in November 2019. So our planning, I arrived to Grupo EFE in February 2017. When I arrived here, I saw a huge opportunity because Financiera Efectiva is the second largest bancarizer, I don't know if the word exists, in Peru.
So bring people into banking, right?
Into banking, the developing world, in a lending perspective.
No, okay. Not only having an account, but actually engage in the system of getting money, paying back. Okay.
Open a saving account is really easy. We are the second biggest in Peru, giving the first credit to Peruvians. Okay. That's a huge effort. So when I came in 2017, we did a plan, no? And we realized, I think the team wasn't aware that we have bancarized more than 4 million people in 10 years. So my first definition was, we have these 4 million customers that they know us. we know how they pay, and they have many other needs than a home appliance or than a motorcycle. So we start delivering different value propositions like personal loans, mortgages. We expand the motorcycle financing business and insurance. So we start giving to this customer base different products. Now only 40% of the portfolio of Efectiva is related to our business in the group. The rest is different type of facilities. And this has allowed us to grow in the past 5 years, 4 times the size of our portfolio and almost 5 times the profitability of the company, because we have all this investment, no, in place. We have physical presence in all the retailers. We have people that know how to work. We have a really good credit process. We have a really good collection process. So it was really easy to expand the value proposition to that target market with a, I would say, a control effort, no?
And just for our audience outside of Peru, when Pepino mentions 4 million people in 10 years, that's around 8-9% of the population of the whole country. So we're talking about a huge, and actually a great thing even socially. We need to be, one of the biggest problems in the developing world is people that are outside of the system. They don't have access to resources as you are given. This is a good way, Pepino, to transition into one other thing. When I came back myself on one of my travels back home when I was in Asia, we had a chance to talk, and I saw in 2017 that you were quite ahead of the curve before COVID, of course, 3 years before. I remember going to your office and seeing in your board something written as digital transformation, which I had never heard, and I think we even talked maybe a little bit about it. And of course, nowadays, especially because of the COVID pushing everything as a catalyst for change, you guys had already figured this idea of digital transformation. I'd like to learn a bit more of what that entailed, and because these words become so, I don't know, used and they're trendy and fashionable, but a lot of people just try to transform digitally without really understanding what they are doing. How is it really tailored to your business and your needs and your strategy, etc. So how did you guys work your digital transformation?
You're right, Manolo. A lot of people talk about transformation, no? And that's a very you have to be careful with that word, because transformation for transformation doesn't mean nothing. No, transformation has to have like a purpose. In our case, we define as our main goal for our transformation is customer experience. Okay. So we start seeing what was happening all around the world, not only in the financial business, but also in the retailer business. And we start seeing how the customer was migrating or transforming themselves in the new ways of shopping. No? So we start building that. We were really, really lucky to start building that in 2018. No, when really, it was funny, because when COVID started, we were closed like for 2 months. The retailers in Peru were closed for 2 months. Imagine that we have 5,000 workers, employees, and we were closed for 2 months. So we have these tools that at that time were not even used. That was the funny part. Like 2 weeks before the COVID closed, we were in Huancayo, which is like a main town in the center of Peru, in the mountains, no, in the Andes. And I was with Robert, which is the general manager of the retailer, and we were trying to push the usage, or what we call the kiosco. No, kiosco is the e-commerce webpage that every seller has it in their phones, and we only sell at that time, if I don't remember wrong, like 500,000, 100,000 US per month using this tool. Mm-hmm. Today, 35% of the sales of the company comes by this tool. But we have it and we didn't use it. When the stores were closed, that was the only channel available to sell.
You were ready. That you got a big advantage there, yeah.
We were ready. We were not even, I think we didn't know that we were so ready until this happens. And this shows us that the importance of being always one step forward, what is going to happen. No? So, and not only that, for example, we could work the day they closed Peru, we were working from home with any type of problems. So also we have the technology to have home working, and that didn't happen in a lot of our competitors, no? In Peru, as our business, which we are specialists in home appliance, there were like 4 companies, 2 close. And they were big players, not only from Peru. One come from Mexico, and they are from Central America. They were good players, but they were not ready for a dramatic situation that happens here. But talking about transformation, first is define what I want to achieve with the transformation. So in our case, as I mentioned before, it was customer experience, and customer experience in retail means giving customers different ways to buy, different ways to pay, and different ways to receive what they are buying. So that's what we start building in 2018.
That's great. And it connects very obviously with the next step and the major thing that has happened to Grupo EFE in the last 12 months, which is, and this is, if I'm not wrong, the first time that you guys have gone outside of your business and acquired an outside company, a proper, I don't know if it's defined as a merger. I think you actually bought the whole company. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've recently, 8 or 9 months ago, you, as you mentioned at the beginning, you bought your own marketplace. Please, can you tell us in sort of 5 minutes, how did that happen? How is it, what's happening in the last months? Is it, and what are your plans for expanding that new side of your business?
You know, we always see how things work outside, no? And, you know, usually we used to see ourselves with this, like a silo view, no? Company 1, company 2, company 3. And a couple of months ago, I saw a presentation of Mercado Libre, no? Mm-hmm. And I love the way they show themselves, how they work, no? It's like an ecosystem, no? So inspiring that, I start thinking about how can we give more value, because value now is not only about financial ratios. Value now is number of customers, a lot of different things that maybe 5 years ago they were not even think. So for us, for the ecosystem we have, you talked a couple of minutes ago about our logistics. We are the biggest company retailer because our footprint is all around Peru. So we said, if we can introduce in our ecosystem a marketplace that can sell much more things than just home appliance or motorcycles, because this is a marketplace that you can buy whatever you want, and we have the capabilities to distribute all this, whatever you buy, all around Peru, we say this goes perfectly with our propósito. How's the propósito in English?
Purpose, right? It was almost an obvious next step in a way, right?
Exactly. So, and it fits perfectly because, you know, I think we are the only company that our e-commerce is bigger outside Lima than in Lima. That's completely unusual in Peru. So now, as I mentioned before, I like to say that we are the second biggest bancarizer in Peru. I will say now that our next goal, at least for me as academically or conceptually, is to be the first, I don't know the word, but it's e-comercializador
okay. So
of the Peruvian population.
To get people into do their first e-commerce purchase.
Exactly. Because I believe that the hybrid model is a model that will win in Peru, at least for the next 3 or 4 years, I don't know, 10 years. So having all this sales force with e-commerce capability and having the logistics to try to serve all around Peru I think it's a really nice way to introduce all the Peruvian population to e-commerce. And as we define as a purpose of Junto, which is the marketplace that we bought, is bringing the world to the Peruvians, no? Because it's not only, you can buy also things from outside the Peru, no?
You sell it, as always, you have this lawyer back, but your salesman side, your marketing side just comes through, bringing the world to Peru. It's true, and it gives a sense of purpose. Another thing that you do very well in EFE is, I think, the culture, the DNA, as people say, that you guys create. I have 2 last questions. One of it is related to the cultural aspect of your company. I see in your Instagram and everywhere you're doing this. In every picture I see, even on your personal pictures, almost if you have a picture of your daughter's graduation, you're doing this. So it's very inbred in your system. What is this, Pepino? What does it represent?
This is our symbol, Grupo EFE, which is the E, which is really three main goals that we have. One is we are passionate about our customer and our employees. I am a believer that a happy employee is a bestseller, is a best employee, and finally you get the best results. We are transparency. We are transparent with our customers and with our employees also. We invest a lot of time communication, how things go. They could be going well or not so well, but everyone have to be aware of how things are going. So transparency is important, and giving solutions. No? So that's our philosophy to our sometimes you treat differently your customer than your employees. No, it's like two different. Our purpose now in the company is that our customers, no, sorry, the wrong way. Our employees and our customers can achieve their dreams. That's our new purpose that we changed like maybe 12 months ago. So really trying to separate how your customer feels and how your employee feels, I think it's a mistake. We have to see it as only one big team. I don't know how to say it, but and that I think is working really well for us. No, it's really knowing that we are trying to have to give a better life situation to our customers. That's very important. That's why we make business, but also for our employees. No, they are fundamental part of our company. No?
They have to, yeah, that the passion that it brings to the work day by day. And I think you guys are in the top 25 best places. Top five, okay. That's the thing that of course comes up, is a decision made at the top that, okay, let's make conscious efforts to make ourselves get into that list and top five. That's fantastic. In closing, Pepino, and you don't have to answer this question because it might be confidential, I don't know. We see the amazing footprint you have in Peru. You are clearly a company that moves quickly, makes fast decisions. Will you expand outside of Peru? Or is that a secret and you rather not say?
No secret. You know me. Maybe I speak too much, but I think that if it's a possibility, yes. But we have. I have to be honest that we need some capabilities that we have to build. I don't think we are ready right now, but I think we could be ready with the appropriate partnership. Okay. Let's say it that way. No. Okay. I think by ourselves it will be difficult. With a good partner, I think we can do it, and we could do it successfully.
Great. We'll be paying attention to your next moves in LinkedIn and Instagram. And do you have a TikTok account already, Pepino?
I don't have an account, but okay. I am in TikTok every day. Yeah? Okay. I have not I have not published nothing, but I see TikTok every day. I don't see any more TV, really. When I am in my house, I used to not TikTok.
Just scrolling around. Yeah, you're a proper Gen Z. Yeah, we had a conversation with a TikTok manager for Latin America, and actually Peru is the country with the biggest growth in TikTok users, which is
really, I didn't know that.
The funny fact. Pepino, it's been fantastic. If you may, let's close with a questionnaire, okay, for our audience. Remember, it's the questionnaire by Bernad Pivot. It's 10 questions. I'm sure Pepino has thought deeply about his answers. So, and to make it more formal, I'm gonna say Jose Antonio here, okay? Let's keep Pepino. Pepino, what is your favorite word?
Positivism.
What is your least favorite word?
Comfort zone.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, emotionally?
Creating value.
And what turns you off?
Internal politics.
Like office politics and innuendo and that kind of thing. Okay. This is a good one.
We don't have them here, but
I'm sure you don't. That's part of human beings. But this is a good one. And please, you can answer in Spanish or English or what? Maybe some word you learned in Mexico, in Nahuatl. Be my guest, whatever you want to say. What is your favorite curse word?
No seas huevón. How do you do that in English?
Okay, now our English-speaking audience have to go and look it up in English. What sound or noise do you love?
Happy laughter.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Negative conversations.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt if you had like a second chance in life?
Historian.
Okay, that's interesting. I learned a lot about my friend.
I like history. I like history.
What profession would you never like to take part in?
Engineer.
Okay. And to close, and again, to thank you, Pepino, for your time. I'm sure everybody has learned a lot, not only about the company, which is important, but leadership style. And I think it's been a great interview. Just to close, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Good job.
As simple as that. Come in, have a beer, and chill. That's great. Super. Thank you, Pepino. Really, really appreciate your time. And I'd like to thank Belia Trading, of course, for creating TRADECAST. It's goodbye from Latin America. We wish you a successful day. Goodbye.
Gracias,
See you next one.
Gracias.